Hello, fine people of the internet, and welcome back to Ears to the East. All right, how you doing? So, today, as the three of us are back together, you might have noticed from the videos, we don't always put them out in chronological order, but you might have noticed there was a little gap where we were just sort of doing various things, and today we're all back together, recovered from our various woes and life things. And so we thought we'd have a little bit more of a chilled out conversation. And one of the things we want to talk about is about gigs, concerts, things happening, just our thoughts on some of the stuff that's coming up. Bands going back to Europe, where you guys are. I went to see TRiDENT the other day. No, I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. I'm just talk everything you say. I'm just going to reply. Yeah, but TRiDENT. So yeah, it's been a pretty interesting start to the year. There's a lot of music coming out. So yeah, we'll just start on the gig conversation and see where we go from there. But yeah, so with this year now freshly in full swing, you guys have been mentioning about a couple of gigs you're looking forward to. So let's kick off from there.
Who do you want to go first? Should I go
Who wants
first?
to go first?
Oh, the energy. Oh,
Well, I only
the
have
energy.
one, so
back.
I will throw the one I know out there, which
Go on.
is
Woo!
Rock and Park in, I think, June,
Yes.
right? You just looked it up.
Yeah, June
Okay,
7th or
June
8th.
5th
Yeah,
to, yeah, 7, 8, something like that.
something like that.
And BABYMETAL will be there, and also Hanabi will be there. So we're
Ooh.
really trying to go, but it's also the time where my house is going to be built, so it's going to be difficult. But I'm giving my best because also Hanabi I never saw live, and I really want to see them live for once. Already missed them when they were in Germany last time, so kind of have to go.
I can imagine that being pretty cool. I mean, what's the general vibe around Rock am Park anyway? Because it's one of those ones I've heard of it and I've seen like videos and
Well,
stuff of it, but
the last time I was there is like 15 years ago, so I cannot really tell you.
oh, really? Oh my
I
God. So
was
now
there
you're
a
like the
couple of
old
times,
man
but I
of Rock
was
am
like
Park.
pretty young.
Mhm.
So you're going to be walking around going, oh shit, I'm old.
Yeah, it's also the thing, like we want to go there alone and like camp there the whole weekend.
Yes,
As
yes. If
just
you
an
can
old
build a
guy on
house,
the
you can
side.
build a tent.
That one weird guy that's there alone and listening to BABYMETAL all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're going to Rock am Park and you just see one man alone in a tent listening to BABYMETAL, go show him some support. There is a percentage chance it might be Benedict. It might be someone else. Give it a go.
Yeah,
I,
that's the one I'm looking forward to. And also, if Lovebites will announce anything in the area of Germany, I'm there for it.
Here's hoping.
love.
I'm actually really surprised, like, to see Baby Metal back so soon. Like especially after the EU tour. I mean, just looking at the gigs, it seems like they've got like a month of just doing festivals in the around Europe. So they seem to be festival hopping pretty much for a month. But
Yeah,
still,
but I think that's awesome because they just
yeah.
had a tour of normal concerts and now they have festivals, and that's
They,
also a different thing again than a
Mm.
concert.
Yeah, that's
they did a
true.
tour with a band called Death Clock.
Yes,
Is that right?
Yeah,
It's like,
that was in
but just in
America.
the US, a couple of shows.
okay.
I think Death
So
Clock is actually pretty awesome.
yeah,
They
no,
kind of
they
like
are really good.
satirical death metal band. Like everything is very
I
overly
I
brutal and
I
stuff.
got
I'm not really
really
sure that like I read some comments about that. Some people who were like BABYMETAL fans went to these shows and then they had like Death Clock putting up videos of like the goriest comic. They had a comic show about metal and it was like just pure gore and really, really visual. And
Hey,
some
bring your
BABYMETAL fans
kids.
were a bit put off by that, but I think they didn't really get
ah
that it's
that
meant
sounds
to be like yeah, like satirical, not
That that
that's
that
not
is an interesting
actually.
one though, isn't it? Because like Babe Metal has like such a wide appeal. Like you hear about with Babe Metal, like you have like sometimes people bring their kids and stuff along.
Yeah,
So I mean,
exactly.
like if they're performing with this band, I mean, you'd have to set a limit. Because I mean, I don't know if I had a kid and I went along to a show like this, and then suddenly they were just showing like really excessive gore, I think I would be kind of pissed. Because
But
you're going to want
also,
full knowledge
if
of that.
there's
You're going
a
to want full
group
warning.
called Death Clock, I would maybe check what they are doing beforehand
Oh yeah, don't
before
get
I
me
bring my
wrong.
kid there.
Yeah, I kind of get that, but I think that's difficult, isn't it? Because I mean, there's always a certain degree by which the parent is responsible for checking that, but I also think there's a degree by which it's like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna pair, if you're gonna
Yeah.
pair these two things together, you should probably make sure there's a warning on the ticket booking website, as
Like I said, a bit of an odd, yeah, connection, but yeah,
Well, the satirical fun
I
aspect
think
sounds like the
both groups are
connection.
great. I would have loved to see that, man.
Mm.
I got really
Not
excited
in
when I bought.
America, are you?
Yeah, I got really
No.
excited when I bought my tickets because they announced in the US that they were touring with Baby Metal. And the opening act hadn't been announced yet for the Baby Metal gig. So I bought my tickets and I was really fucking hoping that they would follow them over to the UK because that would have been fucking awesome. But alas, they did not. I was gutted. I was like, oh,
But
no.
Wargasm was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, you got Wargasm. We got, I can't even remember who it was, like Venucci or whatever the fucking name of the
Oh, right,
band
you didn't
was.
get
Yeah,
them.
it was
Mm.
weird.
It's weird because isn't that a UK band, Wargasm?
Scottish. Yeah, I think so. I think the band that we opened with, I think they were Scottish or something like that.
So why do you get something different in the UK? It's weird.
I don't know.
Is
So
it? So when you say they're Scottish, I'm just like in my mind, I'm imagining like all the stereotypes of heavy metal and Scottish people. I'm like, this sounds like a band who I would not readily
Definitely
want to fuck with. I wouldn't want
would.
to. I wouldn't want to mess with these people. They sound like it could go very south very quickly if you upset them.
well, it was
Oh
good.
dear.
They're quite a soft band, actually, to be fair. So probably in the grand, unlike Death Clock, they were probably quite a good opening act for Baby Metal, and all things considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Like pairing up artists, because I certainly think that. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm approaching this thinking, and I'm probably biased on this, but I'm thinking of Babe Metal as being the bigger artist because I've never heard of the other one. But then again, that's so limited because obviously they're playing in America, where it's probably totally the other way around. So I'm sort of thinking, well, you've got to find a band that pairs with Babe Metal, but it's probably not like that. It's probably both of them are pairing off because it's mutually beneficial, I imagine. But
Yeah.
do you know who wasn't paired with another artist?
Who?
Trident. Oh yes, that's right.
How was the gig?
Tried not going to go.
Because I know
Come
you're
on.
dying to let it out. Come on.
Talk
Hammer
about it. Do it.
Do it.
I will actually point out, as we kind of like talking about gig stuff as well, I noticed that there's something a bit weird when so I went to the show and I was going on my own. Big thank you to the people who actually like helped me, who basically just got me the ticket and everything sorted out, which is really, really kind. I'm loving the social media support. Thank you guys. And so I just had the ticket to go on my own. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got the ticket. Yay. And I was so excited because it was like the final stop of their the Dream Up EP tour. And there was like, Zepp Shinjuku, which is not a big venue for most bands. It was really small when I saw a band made there, but for TRiDENT, this is really big for them. And I was really excited. And I noticed that when I'm standing outside, you're standing in the waiting area to go in, and everyone's just standing there. And I noticed that I was like, oh, it just suddenly occurred to me, I'm like gently vibrating. It's like, oh, I got a stupid smile on my face. It's like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And then I realized that I probably look like an absolute nut job out in the queue. Like, all these other people are like, oh, they're looking cool. They got metal clothes on, everything looking really like, really cool. And by the way, there's a lot of people with Lovebites shirts there. I noticed that. A couple of Nemophila fans, a lot of Lovebites shirts. There was a lot of crossover fandom. But there's just me like, and
I
then,
would have guessed
yeah.
that they have such a
This is when the Japanese go,
that connection.
see, kids, this is why you don't do drugs. Look at that white man in the corner.
People walking past like, what kind of fucking band is this? Like, keep my kids away from this person. So after that Death Clock show, this looks like another band like that. Nutters.
Yeah.
But like, no, as for the actual show, there's a topic that I think we're going to probably get onto this in another video because I think we discussed we might get on. There were some people who I know have brought up the subject of the fact that TRiDENT do use a certain degree of backing tracks. I am completely fine with that because I think it's part of the way they work. I think they're a free piece, which the whole point of being a free piece is gives you room to do extra things in the sound. So I know that's a topic that might come up in the comments and something that might be discussed, but I'm actually 100% okay with that. In fact, I'm happy they do that because I think it's fine. Everything about them is live, and that's what's important. But the show was absolutely superb. The set list was brilliant. It's quite a punchy show. Only came in at like it was less than 2 hours long, which is I'm fine by that. I mean, they don't have a huge discography anyway. It was really good. And then right at the end, they announced that they got a new mini album coming out. New mini album. A new mini album, which in their tradition of giving their albums really strange names, appears to be called Spice X. So that's all right. Don't try and make the name anything particularly normal. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think they're just
hoping
releasing...
it's gonna have some spicy sounds.
It's a Spice Girl cover album.
That was something that had occurred to me actually.
Actually, listen to that.
I would love to hear them do Wannabe with like with a sucker singing Wannabe. I would be 100% down for it. But the funny thing is that when I was leaving, like, so I was one of the very last people would leave the venue because I'm not in a rush. I really wasn't in a rush on that day because I hadn't expected that I was going to get the ticket. So I hadn't, my day had basically been freed up as a result of needing to go. So when I went to the door, I just thought I'll be the last one out. I'll just sort of enjoy it, take a few photos inside the venue. Last one out the door, I actually, on the way out, I was like, I need to go to the toilet. So I went into the toilet, and on my way out of the toilet, so you could tell, last person out, then I go in the toilet. When I went to leave the toilet, they'd actually closed it and closed me into the toilet. So I had to like pull my way out of the toilet, like move everything out of the way. And the staff were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And as I got up to the front, you're leaving, and just on the door as you go to leave, they got a little table which had like loads of A4 flyers for the new album. And you could tell they were obviously hiding them. And then the announcement happens and you put out the A4 flyers. That's where I got this from. So I'm using it as a poster. But the funny thing is I walked up to him. I looked at them on the table. I looked at him. And basically in Japanese, I was like, it's free. He's like, yeah. And just my hands moved down the pile. So it's free. I was like, yeah. My hands moved further down the pile. So I got a few of them.
Shoving everything into a huge sack.
Well, there were 3 piles, and I thought, well, look, I can get away with taking a good 1 pile. It's like, and the staff were fine with it. It was like, yeah, I was the last person out. I don't think anyone was going to give me a hard time about that. But I even then, I didn't take everything, but I took a fair old armful of them. But yeah, what a brilliant show. They are just so good live. I keep on saying,
what are you doing with them?
Brilliant. Sorry?
What are you doing with the flyers?
Well, every room in my house will now have a TRiDENT poster.
He paper clips them all together to make a quilt.
So, no, next week you just come in and every one of these posters. I should have done that.
Yeah, you should have done that. Yeah, you should have taken every single one to the TRiDENT.
Send me one too. I will put it here.
You want one of my posters?
I actually need 2.
Oh, all right. Flexing with your big man frame
to give away.
I will consider sending you 1. I am actually at some point I'm going to change them all to TRiDENT posters and just do that just for 1 video. Wait, this isn't my cup. I'm drinking straight. Oh, fuck it.
Fuck it, straight out of the coffee jug.
Just chug it.
I was supposed to use this. Sorry, I was thinking about TRiDENT. I was like, yay, victory.
More coffee!
More coffee. TRiDENT. Yeah, so I was really happy. I got my merch because I was there so early again. I had nothing else for the day. There so early. I popped down front. Got my merch. TRiDENT.
Like, I'm just wondering, didn't you say the show was almost 2 hours?
Okay, I didn't time exactly how long it was. So it started quite early. I suspect, I mean, the show was so early, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had some other event booked afterwards. Because I think doors opened, if I might be remembering this wrong, but I think doors opened at 4, show started at 5, and I'm pretty sure that we were on our way out by 7. So they could have easily booked a gig after that.
I'm just wondering because like that Dream Up is the second mini album, right? So
But
how many songs do they even have?
they have like a whole album's worth of material prior to that. So they got a full length
Oh,
album,
okay.
they got mini albums, they got
All
what it
right,
seems to be.
I even have that. Advanced Generation, right?
There you go. Yeah, you got it. The thing
Okay.
is that they are yeah, I think because obviously now third mini album on the trot, very quick succession. I think they're doing what we had discussed before. I think is probably the way to go, love it or hate it, for modern bands, which is just, stay constantly relevant by instead of like building up to a 12-track album, it's just like put out 6-track mini albums. So long as you are capable of producing variation regularly, then why not?
But I
And
think
yeah, Trident absolutely
that's a
are.
good way to do it actually, because you know we are all people that love albums and the whole like the experience of more than one song and like have something else, like a
Hmm.
collection of songs that portray a certain feeling or like have a certain vibe. Um, and you know, yeah, just do a 5-piece collection like a mini album. I think that works really well because you still have that, but you don't have to do, like you said, like 12 songs, five is enough, and it
I
still
think
has the same thing, I feel.
the counter to that though is that's completely true, but you need to have such an appropriate work ethic, and you want to be very careful about tailoring your songs to fit an album, because the problem is that I mean you hear this so many times. You hear about people writing full-length albums. You'll get things like you know they'll do the original demo of the album and they'll maybe come up with 7 or 8 songs and all of them are really heavy, and they produce it and then the executive producer's like, okay, this is good, we can record this, but it's all too heavy, can you go away and add some light songs? And then maybe they'll go away and then they'll record a batch of light songs. Sometimes when you're being creative, you might spend a month or two where you're just in one space. So producing a regular mini albums, like a couple of mini albums a year, which I'm assuming is the kind of vibe we're going for, rather than one album a year, 2 mini albums a year, you need to be also able to therefore every 3 months be able to flip and be doing something quite different, which isn't by no means is impossible. I mean, perfectly fine, but there are some bands who are not like that. So I
Yeah.
think if anything, Trident's step towards this direction probably just suggests that it's that they're still feeling very creatively fresh and that they're feeling like they can produce that level of variation.
I mean, I agree, but I would say, yeah, it's a lot better than just releasing single songs every time, because then you don't
Oh,
just
God, yeah.
have song after song after song, and it's working together in any way.
I was worried for a while that was the way that the music industry was going to go. And
Yeah,
the
I
step
still
up
am.
of Well, I think the step up of the mini album has been really a good say for that. And I don't know. I mean, someone might correct me on this because don't get me wrong. I know that mini albums come from EPs and everything, but I think the mini album has become a much more solidified concept than the EP ever was. Um, and I think the idea of the mini album, I first really remember that coming out of Korea. Like K-pop was big on the mini album, I think,
Mm.
before Japan was. So I don't know, but I feel like that might have actually been a
No
concept to
idea.
have been born in K-pop, or at least that might just be where I first noticed it. But I like it as a concept,
But like, what's
EPs,
the
mini
difference
albums.
between EP and mini album, really? You know, I know
Well,
the term definition, but it's actually the same, right?
an EP can be much broader. So, for example, like we would usually say, yeah, every mini album could be defined as an EP, but there are some EPs where it's like, for example, I mean, as you know, like Baby Metal, I don't agree with it, but Baby Metal tried to pass off the other one as, oh, it's an EP, it's not an album. It's
Did
like
they say
basically,
EP?
I thought they
I
did.
think
I
I
might be
thought
wrong
they
on that.
said concept album.
Oh, okay, well,
Because
fair
to
enough,
me,
maybe not
like
that. But
EP, it is limited by the number of songs that's on it.
I've heard examples of things where it's not been like that. So maybe someone will do a cover album, they'll call it an EP. Maybe it'll be a live album, they'll call
Hmm.
it an EP. Sometimes you
Okay.
get an album where it's like, certain number of recorded songs, certain number of re-recorded old songs. Sometimes you'll get bands who they'll release a single and they'll put like 3 B-sides on it and then they'll call it an EP. Because it's a bit too baggy to be a normal single because you've got too many B-sides on it. It used
But
to
Whatever,
what's
just be
the
whatever
sorry?
Baby Metal want to call it, like I'm not
Yeah.
having it. That is an album, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We as a channel don't agree on many things, but the one thing that all three of us agree on is, I'm sorry, the other one, album, own it. It's a good album. Just own it.
It's a good album. Like they can
Yeah.
call it whatever they want,
Really
but
good.
it is an album. Like it is structured it is. It's a fucking album. Not having any of their crap
100%.
saying that it's not.
But I'm
Own
still
that shit.
like, what's then the difference to a mini album, or what's like the definition for a mini album?
I think a mini album has just become one of those things where it's very much defined that, okay, it's more the expectation. I mean, I'm not usually a big fan of updating terms that don't need updating, but I actually quite like the expression mini album because it really is what it says in that, okay, it's written that there is no chief single, which is the title track. It's like there's no title track. All of the songs are
Hmm.
going on equal footing. Maybe some of them are singles, but they go on an equal footing. It has to have a beginning and end. You know, it has to flow like an album. It all has to be original songs. It basically is the same thing as an album, but what they're saying is that, okay, rather than us doing 12 tracks, it's going to be like six. I think the general consensus seems to be that a mini album is 6 to 8 tracks. That seems to be what seems to generally be agreed, but it almost always comes out as six. And I think that's a good length. You know,
I
I
mean, I
think that's
know
a good length.
standard albums that are just 8 songs, so
I'm assuming they're going to be 8 fucking long songs though.
not always.
Yeah, I mean, again, let's be honest. The term album, as far as I'm aware, the term album actually, because that you had LPs, but an album used to actually usually, I think it actually was because it was a double record, and you would open
Yeah,
it
yeah.
like an album. So an album itself was a definition, kind of superseded LP. So I think mini albums just kind of superseding EP as a more specific term. Um, that's the way I see it. I mean, you can have EPs, you can have LPs, you can have mini albums, you can have albums.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
you're right. It's probably just that most of the EPs that I listen to are structured like a mini album, that they have a beginning and an end and kind
m
of have a consistency to it.
most of the EPs I like as well, I would also
Yeah.
consider to fit in as mini album. I don't regard them as like they're complementary phrases. One just seems to specify the other. A mini album is still an EP. It's an easier phrase to specify exactly what you mean. You know, remove any ambiguity. So that's kind of
Yeah.
why I actually quite like the phrase. But any other bands you want to bring into this?
Yeah, I'm going to go and see the Lovebites.
Bow, 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 bow.
It's
Love
about
bites,
it's about fucking time.
baby.
That whole ordeal was a whirlwind of emotions. By the way, I was telling you guys before, but yeah, the gig got announced, and I like literally had about like 18 million people DMing me that day, going, "Neon, love bites," and I'm gonna buy a ticket as soon as I get
Just
paid.
for context, which gig are you talking about?
The Love Bites London gig.
Which
Um,
venue's it at, by the way? Because I actually don't know
I
where
know
to.
I actually don't know.
Doesn't matter
Um,
so long as they're there
it
and you're
doesn't
gonna
matter.
be.
I'm gonna be there. But
You can just
I'm gonna
play
Google it.
outside, it's fine.
yeah, I know. What happened was is like that literally announced, um, and then literally the next day it came out that the show was sold out, and I was like,
Mm.
Holy
"What? How?"
shit!
I was like, "Hold the fuck? How the fuck's that sold out? So much." I was like, "I know Love Bites are popular, but that kind of shocked me a little bit." I was like, "Holy shit! Maybe their popularity is just like massively spiked more than I ever imagined."
Yeah,
But
it
then
doesn't
somebody,
surprise me that much, to be honest.
I
but
Was
think
then
it the
they're
it,
playing at a
first
really
show?
small venue.
yes, but this is what we're going to get into now.
Okay.
Someone told me, and we double checked that the venue itself that they're playing, I can't remember the name. I do apologize.
It's the New Cross Inn.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's
they are playing in a 300 capacity gig in fucking
bro.
London.
You are gonna have your get an
I
interview.
am gonna
Get
have
an
my
interview.
face in between Miyako's thighs, and I'm looking forward to it.
And
Um,
now you've recorded that to the internet, and
Oh
it'll never
man.
happen.
yeah, I know.
Dude, that is a
But
small
that is a
venue.
small venue. And you know what was even gutted? I was like, I didn't get paid until the week after this. They announced the gig, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm going to buy myself a ticket as soon as I get paid. And then the next day, it was sold out. I was like, holy shit. And again, this is one of the most magical things of what we do. Going back to what you were saying when you tried and gig, I was gutted, like literally gutted. I was like, for fuck's sake, they're coming back to London, 300 gig capacity, and I'm not going to be there. And one of my supporters as well, big shout out to Chris, man. You, sir, are an absolute legend. And he messaged me and goes, "Hey, Neon,
I want a ticket too.
yeah." He was like, I got tickets to go and see it. Are you going? Are you going?" And I was like, "Dude, I was like, I don't get paid till next week." I was like, I like literally, I was just waiting to get paid so I can buy myself a ticket, and they're sold out now, and I'm absolutely good. You know, Chris being the VIP that he is. He was like, yeah, don't worry, man. He was like, leave it with me, leave it with me, leave it with me. Literally 24 hours later, he messages me and goes, Neil, I've got your ticket, mate. I was like, how the
Damn.
fuck have you done that? So secret agent fucking Chris for the win. But yeah, no, he managed to get me.
That's,
I don't know how. I don't know who he killed. I don't know who
I was
he
about to say,
bribed.
don't ask too many questions.
Yeah,
There
I'm
will
not
be a
asking
court
too many
case.
questions, but yeah, me, Chris, and Trick will be going to the Lovebite show in London, and I'm so fucking excited about it. And the fact
Yeah,
that it's going to be a
I'm
small gig
jealous.
as well, I'm even more excited about that. You know,
I mean,
300 people, it's going to be insane.
when we say when I say New Cross Inn, I needed to check to be sure because I mean I had heard of it and I don't think I've ever been to New Cross Inn, but as far as I'm aware, it is what it says, an inn, a
Mm.
bar. It's a pub stage. I mean, it's a bit bigger, but it's
Mm.
one of those ones where it's like a bar stage.
Yeah,
I just took out the pictures. It's like, yeah, I mean, the stage is like pretty much floor level, just to the back. In the yeah, I mean, this is like
I
a
was really
really,
surprised that this was announced. Like they haven't announced anything
yeah,
else yet. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few gigs sprinkled in, like Manchester or Birmingham or something like that sprinkled in. Like
gotta
that they
be.
will announce. There's got to be. There's got to be. The fact that we're getting them for the first time since
Please.
2019 for a 300 capacity gig is insane. I can't ever picture that and go, how is that a thing? Like
This you're
either
going to
that.
remember this one for life. This is one of those ones. This is going to
Yeah.
be with you
Mm,
forever.
Yeah, I am, man.
yeah.
I am so giddy. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah,
And
that's
hopefully
wild.
this year will be this 12 months. These next 12 months. Imagine the trio. I want to do the trio. I want Bandmade, Baby Metal, and Love Bites. Now two of
Good
them are
luck with that
chalked.
first one.
Mm.
Two of them are chalked off. Fucking Bandmade need to get their shit together.
Yes. But Love Bites too, not only Spain and UK and France. Go all Europe, please.
Yeah, I actually
I'm
forgot
so,
about
so
this. While we're talking about this, we're like looking at Benedict. He's like,
Yes.
"Yep,
I'm
I'm
left
in
out.
Germany, though, are you? Germany, like was it Germany and Norway are like the two homes of metal in Europe, aren't they? It's like, you know,
Well, we have Wacken. I'm not sure we have capital.
oh, okay. That's my stereotypical view of your countries.
But like Wacken, why don't they come to Wacken?
I don't know what
I
that
honestly don't know. I'm hoping there will be something announced probably in the next month or so. I can't see them coming to London for one gig, going though because they're in Spain for a few festivals and stuff like that. So they're doing a few festival shows around that time. But it baffles me that there's not more European shows. Now, either they've grossly underestimated their following in Europe and their
I don't
popularity,
think they did.
or they're here for a very,
Like we
very
told
bleak
them all the
time.
time.
I
Now,
know.
what didn't we talked about this actually? I think it was Love Bites. I I might be wrong. It
Yeah,
might
we
be
talked
Herbie.
about
I
this.
think we talked about Love Bites before,
Mm.
and we mentioned there was actually this might have been one where it was just me and Benedict's, but we mentioned about a couple of festivals they did, and there was a convenient space in the middle. And I was saying, look, that is not a coincidence. They clearly are going to announce shows in that space, and I believe subsequently they have. But this is kind of the point: is that I do not believe that Love Bites would turn up in the UK or even just in London, play the New Cross in, and just go, well, that was nice. That is a tester. They put that out there to see how quick it sold out. And when it sold out instantly, their agent would have been straight on the phone going, well, let's get some more money. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there's no way in hell there can't be more shows. Like I
that was a
refuse
test.
to. I refuse to
Let
believe
me give you the money.
that.
This is what Bandmate did on their US tour. I mean, like I know
Mm.
everyone was saying, "Oh, they're adding more gigs," but to be honest, I think that was the intentional. I think the whole idea you always underbook with the intention that first of all, you hopefully you'll sell out. If you sell out, it's good for your reputation. And it means you can book more shows. It just looks good. It looks like, oh, we sold out and had to book more. Plus, it also means that by slowly drip feeding it, you know that you're not going to overbook yourself and end up losing money on doing gigs that you can't
I
afford
think
to
that's
fill.
the
So
main thing.
yeah.
I mean,
So I
I
think
mean,
it's really good business sense, but good for
It's a
them.
yeah. Even if they
risk
don't
management.
do like
Mm.
plethora of gigs around Europe, I mean, you could easily, Lovebites could easily, I fully believe this, easily book like a London 20,000 seater gig, and probably get pretty close to a sellout or something like that, even if they just did one or two shows. Like, I believe their popularity is right up there. I know people all over the place. As soon as the London gig was announced, from fucking Spain, Sweden, Finland, that were buying tickets just to go to London to see them because they didn't know, they haven't heard anything else yet. You
Yeah,
I
know?
I
think
agree that they would probably sell out,
Mm.
but you don't have to start with that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, no,
maybe a
no,
bit
I
more than
agree.
300, in one location. Maybe go like
Mm.
2,000 people in
It's
a couple of
it's definitely a record company
locations,
slash
something like that.
agent testing, like Howard said. It's definitely them testing the
Yeah,
waters and seeing how
but I mean
popular
that
they actually
seems
are.
really, really small. Like,
yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, I think you could book something like, I was just looking at the name of some of the venues, but like things like Brixton Academy and stuff like that, you could
Mm.
get one of those, or like, they got, was it the like Indigo at the O2,
Even the Roadhouse,
you
like
know,
Baby Metal and all that was in. I reckon Lovebites could fill that.
Roundhouse.
The
Yeah,
Roundhouse.
yeah, yeah, they could definitely, I mean, the
Yeah.
Roundhouse would be a great venue for them anyway. Plus Camden. I know Camden's fallen a long way since the times when I walked the streets of Camden, but it's still Camden. Yeah, I think that yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is clearly just them doing like let's get our best fans in right in front of our faces to have a really personal one. Plus, it's kind of raw. It's good for their reputation. We did this really
But
raw gig in
I
London.
just had a thought. Maybe it's so small because they will do some music video recording there. That wouldn't
It's not
surprise me.
impossible.
Yeah,
Not
that
impossible.
okay,
Yeah,
then you have to wear a wedding dress when you go there.
that is not what I was thinking.
but
I just think I
possibly.
think whatever happens, it's going to be such a memorable event. I mean, I
Yeah.
want to say to you, video and record everything you can, but at the same time, just take it in. Like get some stuff on camera, but
I'll do
take it
exactly what I
in.
do for the
Just
Baby Metal
live
gig
that moment.
and for my vlogs is I'll whip my phone out. I get 30 seconds of footage of a particular
Yeah.
song, and then the phone goes back in my pocket and I fucking dance to the other
Yes.
4 minutes
It's
and
not
30 seconds.
impossible that you could. I mean, let's face it, given that you've got a decent profile and you're going to have people with you who know who you are, and there might even be people in the audience who know who you are, it's not impossible that you could end up being the person who ends up getting a chat with them, an interview with them. So be up there, be talking to, you see roadies, you see anything, get there early, talk to the roadies, talk to anyone around it, and make sure that you get as much access as you can. Email their people now.
Well,
Get in contact with the providers now,
I
email
know.
them, tell them who you are, get the fucking interview.
Obviously, I'm aware. Family's aware of who I am because I have a DM on Twitter with family. It's been a while though, so I don't bug her for.
And we know Midori's friend as well. We know Midori, one of Midori's best
Mm.
friends.
So yeah,
I'm not sure we're allowed to talk about that, but we
I
do
might
know one of
fling
Midori's.
family a message closer to the date. I might just say, hey, look, I'm at this gig. Is it possible we can do
I
something?
mean, since you already have
No,
a
no, do it
wife, maybe
now.
you can
Yeah.
send me her number.
No, do it now. Earlier the better. Do it, honestly, do it now.
Mm.
But that's I'm going to quickly add, as I can see the clock ticking down, on just on a slightly different subject. Scandal as well. We know Scandal are always touring and they go to Europe a lot, but Scandal have not announced their international dates on the support of their new album,
Mm.
which has another one of those one-word names. It's Luminous, isn't it? Scandal, the queens of not naming things well. It's all right, Trident. You've got to work harder to be trapped at that kind of level. But Scandal, brilliant band, but it's like when they name stuff, you're like, this this seems like you just went into a word generator. But yeah, anyway, Luminous, I'm really looking forward to the album, but Scandal will be touring. They've said there's going to be overseas dates. They haven't confirmed what they are yet, but it does seem that Scandal will probably, based on what we can see, I suspect it's probably going to be May, June, maybe over the summer. They're going
Yeah.
to pop up in Europe, so good chance they'll be in the UK as well. So that's another one to
Yeah,
keep
for
an eye
sure. I
on.
mean, if you're in the comments as well, I mean, we're running out of time a little bit. We could see the
Yeah.
counter kind of ticking down, but I'm sure there's loads of bands that are probably touring that you guys are interested in that we haven't had the time to speak about. Let us know in the comments as well. All the bands that you're interested in, if there's any dates or any other bands that you think you're interested in, we will probably pick up this video probably for a part two because no doubt more bands will announce stuff. We'll probably see more developments from the Lovebites gigs as well. So Benedict can finally finally go and see them. So hopefully we'll hear more on that kind of thing.
Yeah, man,
Howard's
me too.
still he's either tripping from the amount of coffee he's just swigged or he's just like, he's very happy right now. But if there's any gigs or any bands that you would like us to see, like kind of small ones that maybe tour in Europe or whatever, that maybe we're not aware of that you think we should go and check out, again, let us know in the comments down below. And we'll try and post some more footage and stuff on Ears to the East as well. I know we will have our personal channels, so that's kind of where it will all go first. But we'll try and get some stuff on Ears to the East. I think that will be really good, actually.
I agree.
Nice.
Spice X.
Just had a horrible thought.
It sounds so bad when you say it without context.
I know.
Make it work, ladies.
Imagine someone would have gone to that Death Clock Baby Metal show and wouldn't know either of the groups. And then he had watched like Death Clock and like, who's next? Baby Metal. Oh shit. What's that gonna be?
It's such a headbutt. So why is it three girls have just come out? What's going on? Oh my god. So you've just woken up from a 20-year coma and it's like, oh, I was really into rock music. I'm gonna go see this show. Death Clock and Baby Metal. That sounds interesting. So you just leave with like serious traumas. Like put me back in the coma.
I tell you what, I used to do that in my youth when I was young. I used to just used to go to gigs to bands I didn't fucking know just because they were playing and check them out. I haven't done that probably for the last like 10 years as I'm getting a bit older and money
value our wallets more.
Yeah, we value our money and wallets a little bit more.
Yeah, same.
That's
why I'm actually really looking forward to Rock and Park because there you can go to a lot of different groups.
Indeed.
And
I thought that was a
Lovebites should go there too. I mean, if they're concerned about their popularity here, then just go play on some festivals. I don't know. Are they getting picked by the festival producers? Or
I don't know. It'll be a mix of the festival will reach out, agents will go and contact that they're there at that particular time. It will be a mix. I still refuse to believe that Lovebites won't announce something in the future. I can't wrap my head around that it will just be a very, very select few shows. I'm happy because I'm going, but if I didn't get that ticket,
I'm guessing once they are playing bigger venues, they will probably also get contacted for festivals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we got Download and stuff as well, and I know Download's due to announce a few more bands as well. So I've seen Lovebites are playing in Spain and stuff and doing a few more festivals. Maybe they
we just need a Japanese only festival in Europe or something.
Yeah.
US too, okay.
You know, I feel like
they get enough band made already in the US. It's like
cut US.
Do you know what? Love you, American listeners. We love you, but you get enough, all right? It's pretty clear that everyone's coming to you anyway, all right? So just share some of it out to these poor people here.
So I tell you what, if Bandmate announced another fucking US tour, I fucking riot. I honest to God.
You said that before the last one.
I know.
Gonna need to be quick about the tickets.
Every time we come on and do a new video, I keep expecting them to announce something, and they haven't yet. It's making me tetchy.
We got 40 seconds, and it seems that Neon's about to explode. So, in keeping with the fact that Benedict jumped in front of me last time to do the Ears Feast, do you want to do it this time, Neon? Shall we?
Go on. Keep your ears to the east.
See you later, everyone. Like, subscribe, stuff.